guys, it's Linda from the Meredith Library, and I'm here with another episode of What's on Linda's Bookshelf. Today I'm going to talk about things that are on audiobooks and ebooks. So, mainly things that I have discovered and listened to or read on Libby or Libro.fm. Now, if you don't know, Libro.fm is a audiobook service that works a lot like Audible, except it supports a local bookstore. So you can choose a bookstore near you to support. Innisfree supports it, so all of my proceeds from that app go to Innisfree. So let's get started. So the first one that I most recently read, or listened to rather, was The Girls at 17 Swann Street by Yara Zgheib. And the audiobook itself was excellent. The narration was great, which is, I'm really picky. If I don't like somebody's narration, I will stop listening to. It's about a girl named Anna who moves from Paris to live with her husband. They're newlyweds, and they move to St. Louis, and he gets a new job there, and she starts slowly controlling her world, where she's very lonely. She used to be a dancer, but she had an injury, and she develops anorexia. So she is sent to a girls' home for those with eating disorders on 17 Swann Street. And it's about her struggle with the disorder, how she gets over it, and goes through the deep secrets in her life or that may have caused it, or the events that may have caused it, and how she's coping with them, and her relationship with her husband. And I think it was very interesting. I learned a lot actually about eating disorders that I didn't know about, especially anorexia and bulimia. The author is very good at describing the effects, what it takes to get through it, the girl's relapsing, and I think it was very good. So check that out. The second one was Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. And this is a juvenile book, and I believe it was nominated for Flumer Isinglass this year. So check that out, that's really good. It's about a Syrian refugee and her mother who moved to America with her brother, her uncle, so her mother's brother, sorry. And it's all written in verse, which is kind of like poetry, but it's beautiful. It was very beautifully written. It didn't stop you from getting invested in the story. There was characters, there was an arc, and I just thought it was beautifully written and a very good story, all on its own, good characters. I highly recommend that, especially since it's nominated for either Flumer Isinglass. Mr. John will know more about that. So check it out. I got it from Libby, and I read the ebook. I did not listen to the audiobook. So the next one was an audiobook, Sweet Little Eyes by Frear. This was recently one of Matthew's mystery book club books, but I enjoyed it a lot. The narration's very good. I love the narrator. Excellent voice, excellent. I love the accent. I like my audiobooks with British accents, I guess. This is about a mystery in England, and she's a detective, and her father is a suspect, but she doesn't want to let anybody know. So it's kind of like the little lies that she goes through as she's discovering the case and everything, and it was really good. I've read the second in the series, which is also really good. I actually liked it a little bit better. So if you did go to Matthew's and were either underwhelmed or liked it, but weren't sure if you would keep going, I would recommend trying the second book in the series. So the next audiobook that I listened to was The Perfect Girl by Gilly Macmillan. Now, I had heard really good things about Gilly Macmillan from different patrons. We have little reader reviews in the front page of our books, especially the new ones. And she had amazing, fantastic reviews. Everyone loved the book, but the one that had the best reviews was out. So I tried this one, The Perfect Girl, which was also one of Matthew's Mystery Book Club books, I believe. And my dog's eating a bone over there, milk bone. And it was really good. The narration was excellent. I did have some little weird things about the story, kind of a romantic interest that didn't really need to be there, I thought. But overall, the book was interesting. As an audiobook, it was excellent. So I like to listen to them before I fall asleep. It helps me fall asleep and kind of calm down. But other people, you can listen to them while walking, running, jogging, cooking. There's many reasons. And I got that one off Libby, but you can also get it at Libro.fm. One right before that I had read was See What I Have Done by Schmidt. Now this one I got off Libby as an audiobook. The narration was really excellent. There was different voice actors, different narrators, and they were all really pretty good. It was about Lizzie Borden, obviously, and it's a specific historical fiction retelling of the murder of her parents, obviously, and you can decide what happens there. I won't give too much away. There was one thing I didn't like about the book itself, is a plot problem that not anything to do with the audiobook. The audiobook was excellent, so there was a character I thought was a little superfluous, a little too coincidental, if that makes sense. I don't want to give too much away, but so if you read that, you'll probably know what I'm talking about, and you can always find me and talk more about it. We do have the physical book at the library, so you can check it out with curbside pickup, or you can get it off Libby or Libro.fm for the audiobook, or just read the book or the ebook. Really good. So the last audiobook here I got off Libro.fm. This is the first Libro.fm audiobook that I had tried out. It's Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. So I had read the book. It's a nonfiction book about the incidents of Chernobyl, and he's kind of uncovered these new sources, and it's incredible. It's kind of hefty, but it keeps you on the edge of your seat. You learn every little thing you could ever want to know about nuclear reactors, but you can see the little things that went wrong that all alone are fine, but because they were kept secret and pushed aside, they all added up and ended up in this big disaster that could have been, very much could have been avoided. And mainly because of just secrets, keeping secrets about things that should not have been kept secrets, and the culture of always having to go with what your boss or the higher up in the party was saying. There was no room for dissent, really, and it's fascinating, and he writes so eloquently, and every little detail is unfoiled, and I really highly recommend it. And it has a glossary for the names if you have trouble with those, the Russian names, but really good. I read the physical book, which is also at the library, but I wanted Dad to explore it, and he has trouble reading because of his eyes and stuff, so we listened to the audiobook in the car on Libro.fm. A couple other things I want to mention. I should have mentioned when we were talking about other words for home, how it was written in verse in its juvenile book. I recently read a young adult that was written in verse. Well, this one's more just poetry, straight poetry, about Joan of Arc, called Voices, The Final Hours of Joan of Arc by David Elliot. And that was excellent. I would highly recommend that. I've always loved Joan of Arc and the story. And I believe he's from New Hampshire. It's a local author. And there's also another one that recently came out, young adult, also about Joan of Arc, written in verse, The Language of Fire by Stephanie Hemphill, which I have not read, but it looks very good. So that's on my to-be read list. So if you have any questions, comments, what have you been recently listening to? Libby audiobooks. We have audiobooks at the library. You can check out our catalog. Libby and Libro.fm are huge resources if you can't make it to the library. So let me know. Bye.